I blame Kevin O'Connell for that. That's not
On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we are celebrating the AFC West Championship that the Broncos have, and we are going to got some interesting comments from Sean about how they're celebrating this, and we're gonna break down the film with my guy Bennie Fowler. Big fun show starting now. Your Denver Broncos are AFC West champions. Let's go. We're going to celebrate that and break it down all here on the DNVR Broncos podcast in the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores. And we are presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Deposit $10, place $5 bet, and you're going to get $150 bonus bets, win or lose. We are the DNVR Broncos podcast. I'm joined by the man, Bennie Fowler. We got Dion behind the camera, Zach Stevens rocking and rolling with you today. Bennie, the last time the Broncos were AFC West champs, you were part of that team. I'm happy to finally say that's no longer the case now.
Yes, I'm very happy for that as well. The streak, I don't know if you want to call it the streak, but the drought
yes.
is now over. Shout out to the Broncos for winning the AFC West. Nick Wright has got to be sick.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody, I see everybody who lives in Denver tweeting at him and giving him the most crap right now. But man, shout out to the Broncos for winning that. Shout out to the Texans for getting the job done. They look a lot better. They look a lot better. Well, at least they looked a lot better in the first half of the game.
I was going to say that. Shout out to the Texans for winning, but giving everyone a little heart attack near the end.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, man, shout out to the Broncos. AFC West champs, man. We all thought, not we all, maybe not you, but definitely me, at the beginning of the season, Sean talked about this team being one of the top 6 or 7 teams that he's ever coached that can win a Super Bowl. And I couldn't see it because I played on the 2020 team and I thought we were really good. And this team, he had that vision for this team. And they went out there and they executed. They're 13-3 right now. A chance for the number 1 seed this upcoming weekend at 2:25 Mountain Standard Time against the Chargers, which would be super cool. Just the fact that 10 years ago, we won the AFC West Championship. And then we also got the number 1 seed against the Chargers. And
in the final game of the season in Denver, maybe a little more drama in that game than there will be in this game.
Definitely. Brock was the starting quarterback.
Yep.
Payton comes in the second half.
Yep.
It's a day that I'll never forget because I was warming up with Payton. Payton was throwing me some passes before that game. And I just kind of leaned over to him because it's the first game that he's dressing. He's actually a backup, which is very, very weird for all of us. And I said, hey, P, like, man, I would love your jersey. Like, he was like, oh, yeah, man, sure. Because he didn't think he was going to play. We ended up having a really bad first half. Yep. Second half comes around. He gets inserted back in. We have the comeback win. And we are in the locker room celebrating the number 1 seed after that. And Demarius and Emmanuel are both asking Payton for his last ever regular season jersey, and they're going back and forth. And Payton comes over to me and in front of both of them and says, no, Bennie, I promised it to Bennie already. And gives it to me. So, man.
Oh, that is too
brings back
cool.
great memories. And now we have Broncos versus Chargers again, and Broncos got a chance to get the number 1 seed, man. Let's go.
You're giving me goosebumps because we all know what then happened there. The Broncos went on to win the Super Bowl, but also have home field advantage, which comes with that number 1. You get the bye, home field advantage. And you tell me what you think. There's a lot of people that believe that the Broncos don't have home field advantage in those playoffs, that they're not winning those 2 playoff games that you guys did in Denver. And then a third one, which might have been on the road. If you dropped, I think you could have dropped to the 6th seed all the way down if you lose that game, which is crazy. Do you agree with that? Was home field advantage that important that year?
I don't know if it was that important. I would say with our defense that year, being a historically incredible defense, probably top 5 defenses of all time, that defense could travel anywhere. And we had won
That's a good point.
in some very tough environments. We had played well in some very tough environments from a defensive standpoint, also from a special team standpoint. When you think about a guy like a Peyton Manning, he can be able to navigate situations like that and get us into the right play offensively. So I don't think it would have changed anything. I still think we would have won just based off of how well that defense was playing that year. But it doesn't really matter because we end up getting the number 1 seed. And history is, it is what it is.
Oh, man, and it was just incredible. That was such a cool game for so many reasons. To clinch it, I have to imagine clinching the number 1 seed. I don't know if that was for the division as well. It must have been, because you could have dropped all the way to 6. So it must have been for the division too. There's got to be nothing.
It was. I think it was for the division because I believe I have some pictures with me with the hat on.
Yep. We got some stories about this year's hats in just a second.
I just saw one of the tweets.
Sean, not the biggest fan. But I have to imagine clinching the number 1 seed at home in front of your fans, knowing you get a week off after instead of potentially having to turn around and have stressful Monday morning meetings has to be incredible. And that's what the Broncos are trying to do this week.
Yeah, that is what they're trying to do. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I was too naive, too young at the time to really to actually know what was going on. This was the second time we were going to have a bye week because I still believe that there were 2 bye weeks or 2 teams got bye weeks at this point in time. So, to me, it was just like another week off. And where was Michigan State playing at the time? And I was going to go to the Michigan State game because they were playing deep into either the playoffs or a bowl game. So that's kind of what I was thinking about. But, the veterans, they actually, told us, hey, we should stay around because this is the opportunity. This could be our last opportunity to try to win a Super Bowl with this team and this quarterback. So I don't think I did anything. I don't think I traveled anywhere. But what an incredible opportunity for this year's 2025 Denver Broncos team. And one of the things that I am very confident about and what I love about this team is the fact that Sean Payton's leading this team and somebody who's been there, who's done that, who understands what needs to be done and what needs to be accomplished to win a Super Bowl, and somebody who's done it. So that's one of the cool things about this, and his vision, his confidence is permeated all the way throughout this team.
Up 100%. And that's what's so confident. And we just got off a conference call with Sean Payton this morning, and I'm not a player, and this was over a conference call, and I'm ready to run through a wall. So I can't imagine how he's going to have these guys prepared for this week, for after a bye, after they take care of business this week, but then also for next year and the year after and the future that's here. Because, Benny, you mentioned, by the way, those vets on the Super Bowl 50 team were smart, knowing this might be, this team's last opportunity. They were right about that, especially with this quarterback, with this group. And obviously teams change. But that was viewed as a last hurrah. Not officially known if Peyton was going to retire, at least from the outside. You guys might have known. But on from the outside perspective, it was kind of like the last hurrah a little bit. And this doesn't feel like that at all. Now, obviously, things can happen year to year, but it's so exciting knowing that you have the ownership, the GM, the coach, and the quarterback, the 4 pillars of an organization. And then, by the way, you had a defense that's been elite for much of the season. Mm-hmm. You have a really good offense. You have so many pieces in place. And before we get to Sean's comments on this, I want to ask you a couple of questions with where it sits right now. Is this the Broncos division now?
For the next 10 years or
just, is this the Broncos division? However you want to interpret it.
I would say it's the Broncos division this year. Everything is it's too much year to year in this league. And I believe when you look at the AFC West, at least for 3 of the teams, I cannot count the Raiders right now, and no disrespect to Pete Carroll. But when you look at Andy Reid, when you look at Sean Payton, when you look at Jim Harbaugh, these are 3 incredible coaches. And right now, the Broncos have caught lightning in a bottle. The Broncos have a young roster. They don't have to pay their quarterback just yet. So I think, the Broncos are always going to continue to be in play as long as Sean Payton is leading this team and this organization. But I can't just say that next year this is going to be the Broncos division. The NFL, and especially this division, is just too competitive.
Yeah.
And rosters and changes and things happen. And you obviously saw what happens to the Chiefs this year. They probably won't have Mahomes for next year. But the Broncos have a real opportunity right now to, over the next 4 to 5 years, really compete at a high level. And, I wouldn't be surprised if they repeated as champions. But no, I'm not just going to go out there and say that this just is the Broncos division just because they won it this year. They are a very dominant team this year. And that's kind of how I think just as a player, as you're taught to think year to year, because this is the last time this Broncos roster will be together.
Yep.
When I say, like, next year, there's going to be free agents, there are going to be people that leave. You're not going to catch always the same breaks. I mean, even look at the Detroit Lions. Last couple years, division, they ran away with, and I didn't run away with it last year, but they went down and they won it last year. I don't know what they went 15-2. And, what are they, 8-7 this year? So things just happen year to year, and they have a very similar roster. Still very talented on offense, but sometimes, things just don't go your way. But the one thing, like you said, the ownership is in place, the GM's in place, the head coach is in place, and you have a franchise quarterback. So I will say that the Broncos will be competing. As long as those four things are in place, the Broncos will be competing for the AFC West Championship every single year.
Let's go. I absolutely love that. And I just really quick want to express how big of a deal this is, because we don't like to acknowledge it when it's happening, just how good the Chiefs' run actually was this past year. But now that it's over, it is incredible what the Broncos were just able to take down. The Chiefs had won 9 straight division titles. That's the second longest.
How many did Elway win in a row?
Not 7, because third on the list is 7.
Okay.
So the Patriots won 11 in a row with Brady. The Chiefs were at 9, almost about to get to 10. So the Broncos stopped that streak.
Payton's not in there?
Payton is not in there. Most consecutive seasons in the playoffs, Payton's in there. He's at 9. Then you had the Chiefs who were at 10, and then the Patriots who were at 11. So 9, pretty impressive still.
No, I'm just surprised that he didn't win that division that many times in a row. Like, who would have won it?
That's a good question.
Payton was quarterback for that long.
Matt Schaub? I don't think so. It's a great question. Most consecutive seasons with the playoff win, the Chiefs were at 7 right now going into this year. The Patriots own that record with 8. The most conference championships appearances, the Patriots were at 8, had the most. Then you had the Chiefs right below it at 7, and the Broncos are the ones that were able to knock this off. And they didn't do it just by squeaking by. And don't let anyone fool you. The Broncos did this before Patrick Mahomes got hurt. He literally was eliminated from the division 1 series before he got hurt. So this was not about Mahomes getting hurt. This was about the Broncos sweeping the Chiefs, including the game that Patrick Mahomes played against them. The Broncos won. The Broncos are 4-1 in the division right now. It's the most wins they've had in the division since 2015, when you guys won the Super Bowl. They have taken over this division and really run away with it for this year. And that, I totally see what you're saying about year to year. But this year, this isn't the Broncos squeaked by. We're going to talk about how they have that opportunity to play for the number 1 seed and get that this year. The Broncos did this in convincing fashion.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I talked about this maybe with Dave Logan or with RK and Henry, is the fact that the Broncos, they beat the Chiefs when Mahomes was out there, 23-20.
Yep.
And I also think that the way that Bo and Sean have been working together and playing, or, I would say just working together, Bo kind of outplayed Patrick last year in Kansas City.
Yep.
And, if not for the missed field goal, Bo leads a game-winning drive in Kansas City. He's played really well in Kansas City. It's one of the things that I'm very impressed, because that's a hard place to play. Zach, you've been there. Man, it's super loud. The fans are crazy.
Yeah.
They've been going on this crazy run. They've had a dynasty the last 9 years and putting together this incredible body of work. And Bo has played there twice and should be 2-0 there.
Yep, exactly. And I don't know if you saw this, but I put out a tweet after the game, maybe on Friday, and I said Bo is a missed field goal away from being undefeated against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And boy, Chiefs fans just couldn't handle the truth. They could not handle it because it was a 37-yard field goal. Wouldn't you say that if your quarterback gets you in a position for a 37-yard game-winning field goal, that he's done his job?
100%. Why did you send him the Jack Nicklaus a few good men, you can't handle the truth.
You
should have said that. You should have said that.
Especially, there's a couple of national Chiefs people, not exactly Nick Wrong out there, but a couple of other ones that latched onto it. That's what I'm going to respond with later. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. It's all good.
So, Benny, the Broncos accomplished their first goal of winning the division. Now it's kind of looking on to the next goal. But before we look on to the next goal, because Sean Payton talked about that today, let's hear how the team is celebrating this. And heard from Sean Payton this morning. Also, saw from Jonathan Cooper. Let's get to that. That's coming up next. We got an incredible week of sports coming up with the new year here. That means bowl games. That means NFL kind of playoff games coming up. And if you want to get in on the action, go to our friends over at Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Deposit $10, place a $5 bet, and you're going to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And man, we got football, college football playoff on Wednesday and all day Thursday. Then we've got NFL, pretty much playoff games on Saturday and Sunday. And of course, we got the Broncos playing the Chargers, and the Broncos big time favorites against the Chargers. You want to get in on that, you can do it with those bonus bets that Bet365 is dishing out by using that code DNVR365. Make sure to scan the QR code that's on the screen to get you there, or download the Bet365 app and use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. And of course, you must be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. And speaking of this weekend, you want to check out our friends over at Fire on the Mountain. I mean, when I think of like a whole day of football, I think of Coors and Fire on the Mountain. I think of wings, and the best place for wings is our friends over at Fire on the Mountain. I used to live a block away from Fire on the Mountain, and boy, was that dangerous. Moved to about a mile away now. That's a little better for me, because Fire on the Mountain's wings are just fantastic. And what really takes them over the top is their 15 super flavorful sauces that are homemade from scratch, and they have from like the sweet sauces, I love sweet meat, give me that sweet meat, to super spicy. I'm going to stay away from the spicy. I'll just stick with the meat or the sweet. And you can grab $5 pints on Mondays tonight, all day happy hour on Tuesday, and they deliver from their Wash Park store. And I can vouch for that one. It's a great one. Visit their spots in the Highlands and Wash Park and get in on Fire on the Mountain. And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Place that $5 bet and deposit $10, and you're going to get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up. No pauses there, but appreciate everyone tuning in, especially my man Benny rocking and rolling with me today. Shout out to Dion for being here as well. What a time to be in Broncos country. And
this
really
is the most excited I think I've ever seen you on a pod, bro.
Good. Let's go, baby. I'm ready.
Wait, job's not finished, bro. This is just the first step. This is like one checked box.
I feel
there's so much more to accomplish and achieve. The Broncos aren't even celebrating this. We didn't even celebrate the AFC West Championship. I think we like took pictures with our hats, and then like everybody was like, all right, like next. Like, doesn't mean a thing if you don't get the ring.
I love that. And I feel like Sean Payton's on set with me right now, because Benny, I was blown away with how he celebrated the AFC West Championship, because he made it very clear to me a couple of weeks ago, like, no, playoffs, that is not a goal. I messed that up. He called me out on it. But he said the first goal is winning the AFC West. So
he called you out, but then he also tweeted you.
He did tweet me. So I, in a playful way, I tweeted at him after the Broncos won. I said, congratulations to Sean Payton for achieving his first goal of the season of winning the AFC West. And Sean replied. He replied with an LOL. So that made my week, to say the least, right there.
I think that is one of the coolest things. Sean obviously gave you a little bit of a hard time, because he's very clear on his message, and he doesn't want anything to get misconstrued in terms of how he's presenting things to the team, and to just the rest of the outside world. So he called you out on that.
And he was right to do it. I was wrong.
But what's cool about that is that you tweet that out, and then he responds to that, meaning that, hey, Zach, you kind of messed that up, but hey, man, I'm going to acknowledge you here in front of the entire world, in front of all my followers and yours, that Yeah, I think it's funny that, you got this right, but also he's acknowledging you. So, man, I think that's super cool.
It was really cool. So shout out Sean. He also
That means he's probably watching the show.
Shout out Sean Extra. Hit Benny up so you can be on.
Bo Lowry actually texted me about one of the clips. So I think people in the Broncos facility are watching the show, and shout out to those guys.
Absolutely.
Whether it's Freddie Walker, whether it's Dominic or Bo or whoever it may be in the Broncos facility, man. We really appreciate the love and support, man. We're always going to, shout out this team in the right way, in a positive way. So shout out to Broncos country and then, everybody on the Broncos staff.
Yep. And, man, absolutely. I love that. And so I saw that happened a couple of hours after Sean responded with the LOL. So I'm like, oh man, he's in a good mood. It's night on Saturday. They have tomorrow off. I can't imagine, what the celebrations are like, because it's got to be a unique way to celebrate. Because I don't know, 95% of the time, if not higher, when you win your division, you're probably with your team. Like we saw the Patriots, they didn't win their division once the final whistle went off yesterday, but they were driving home on the buses from the airport when they won their division because the Bills lost a couple of hours later. They were still together as a team. And so you get to celebrate there. And Vrabel sounds exactly like Sean in terms of just like your message. Like, congratulations, put the shirts on, hats on. Okay, now this is just the first check mark. But the Broncos weren't together this weekend. They were all doing separate stuff. So I thought when Sean was having some fun with me that I thought today was going to be a celebratory day out there at the Broncos. You're shaking your head, Benny. And then we see this tweet from Jonathan Cooper. And oh my goodness.
Wait, before we go to the Jonathan Cooper tweet, I don't think these guys are celebrating today because it's just too many days that have passed. I think if you had won on Thursday and you had found out that you won on Friday, it'd be different. But to find out on Saturday, you've been away from the guys a couple days. What are we going to celebrate on a Monday for? There's too much time has passed. And then now we have an important game coming up. And now our eyes are all on the number 1 seed. That was just a checkbox. It would have been great to celebrate with the team. But I think actually the AFC West Championships that I was able to be a part of, whether it was John Fox or Gary Kubiak, I don't really think we celebrated that much at all. I think maybe a little bit of celebration in the locker room. We acknowledged it in the team meeting the next day, and then there was on to the next thing. Okay.
And see, that's why I love your insight, because I've never been in those. I'm let in
you would have
after
celebrated.
All of me.
You would have celebrated hard?
I would have understood my surroundings. I wouldn't have just been the only one celebrating. That's for sure. Ice cream. That's it. That's how you celebrate an AFC West championship. And you're exactly right, Benny. Because Sean today, by the way, it's Sean's birthday. So if you're watching, Sean, happy birthday, happy 62nd birthday. He didn't seem to be celebrating that much today. He didn't celebrate the AFC West Championship with the team at all. He didn't even acknowledge it. He was asked that question, like, because it's an interesting situation of how you won the division. How'd you acknowledge it with the team right now? And Sean said, I don't even know if I'm supposed to admit this out loud, but I didn't even acknowledge it to the team this morning. Exactly what you said, Benny. We're on to this next week because the number 1 seed is on the line, and this is essentially a playoff game for us. And it really is essentially a playoff game because if the Broncos win this, they get to avoid playing in a playoff game. So you win this one, you don't have to play in a playoff game. You essentially win your bye week, go 1-0, and I don't know. I was shocked, and that's kind of one of the things that also got me fired up. Like, exactly what you said. This is just a check mark. We're on to the next one. And then you know what? If they get the number 1 seed, he's probably going to say something very similar. Like, and they'll be together, so they'll be able to celebrate a little more. So it might be probably a little more celebratory. But then that next day on Tuesday, it's going to be like, yeah, we're on to working on ourselves probably for a week, and then we're on to our next opponent right there.
Yeah, I think Sean just knows how to approach these things with the locker room. If you go back, or if I could just think back to any of the times of the great coaches that I played for, they would break these seasons down into quarters. 4 games a month. Let's try to go 4-0. Let's go 1-0 each week. They break it down like that. But when you go into OTAs, when you go into training camp, you start those things off. And like Sean said, his first thing is to win the division. That's a check box. So if you have these check boxes right there, win the division, whether it is number 1 seed, win playoffs, win Super Bowl, or win the AFC, then win the Super Bowl. When you put that checkbox list up there, it's just one thing that's checked off, and there's 4 more other things that you have to do. So it's just, hey, job well done, pat on the back. All right, now everybody go get a lift, and everybody go watch the film and get ready for this. Because you've only accomplished one of the tasks that you set out to accomplish. So Sean is very much process-focused, and I believe that this team will have that level of focus, and I think they acknowledge it with each other in the locker room. The players did, especially guys like Cortland Sutton and Garrett Bowles. I bet it's so cool for them to be a part of this, and after all the things that they've been through in their careers, to start here and now have that. But now it's on to the next thing. Yeah,
it's on to the next game and week. And so Sean did put he didn't, but the equipment guys put the AFC West champion shirts and hats in everyone's locker today. So they got to enjoy that. But Sean didn't even go in there or see them. He doesn't even have one. But he did say, let me find the quote. He says, I haven't seen the hats or shirts, but my understanding is they're pretty ugly. So not helping the NFL out there by trying to sell these things.
No, he's not trying to sell them at all. And one of my favorite memories of just, being a player that's played under Sean Payton, when I was playing in New Orleans, I think the NFL had gave us these Nike sweatsuits, mesh sweatsuits, and he did not like them. So he went and got some Lululemon ones and put some Saints gear, put the Saints logo on them. So
maybe that was what kind of helped the NFL and Lulu partner, because now they have a partnership. Is Sean just doing it himself?
Hey, Sean likes his athleisure gear and his Jordans. So.
Sean, I'm right there with you.
Peter Millar, Lululemon, that's your whole thing.
Although never had a Jordan.
You never had a pair of Jordans?
No.
I'll change that.
Even when the bets don't hit, you still are
we
paying
gotta get you some J's, bro. We gotta get you some J's.
Oh man, I just don't know if I can pull them off.
It's all about confidence. Do you think Sean knew he could pull them off, and then until he put them on?
I just need to have Sean's sort of confidence. You're right. Yeah. You're right.
We'll tweet at him.
Yeah, exactly. Help me with your confidence, Sean. One other thing from this weekend, mentioned it, the Jonathan Cooper tweet. This popped up. Well, let's actually see. Is there a timestamp on this one? No, but it was late at night on Saturday.
Had a couple pops.
48 hours after. I think it's fair to connect the dots there. 48 hours after beating the Chiefs, couple of hours after clinching the division, Jonathan Cooper went on Twitter and said, he spelled this all out, but he said, F the Chiefs, and then responded to that and said, biatch, but the other way, made ass pansies. Like, holy cow, not holding it back at all. And I'll tell you what, Jonathan Cooper, he deleted it the next morning. But that fired Broncos fans up like no other, because that's how Broncos country has been feeling over these past 10 years. Like, it's just like you hate it. You hate the Chiefs. And I think that Broncos country appreciated a player being so open and honest about it. Now, because it's deleted, I'm not quite sure the organization felt the exact same way about that, or at least some people in the organization, or maybe Jonathan didn't after, but I don't think he did. I just think, man, it was it's a cool moment for Broncos country to be like, yes, you feel the same way about them as I do, and now we just took them down.
I don't know what to say here.
You don't have to say anything.
But what I will say is that you need guys like this on your team. I think guys like this who are a part of your culture, who set the tone, who really have that hate and disdain for divisional opponents is something that is vitally needed for you to win and be successful year after year. And that's how he plays. And so as a former player, I would love a teammate like that. You had guys like TJ Ward and Aqib who were like that. So you just really appreciate certain things like that. Vaughn, he hated the Chiefs. So, you really appreciate those types of things. I know Patrick Smythe and the Broncos and probably ownership, like, hey, let's take a step back here, man. Let's always think about, the representation of the organization. And, we leave those types of comments for our passionate fans.
Yeah.
But, hey, screw them.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's probably, like you said, in a locker room, it's good to have that balance because maybe everyone can feel that way, but that might lead to too many personal fouls in the game and that you can't overcome.
We like that. Yeah. We like personal fouls.
That's very true, especially that Super Bowl 50 team. You guys weren't afraid to send a message with a personal foul or two.
Hey, we're here to play football.
and in an organization, it's probably also good to have those guys because Sean didn't send anything like that. Although yesterday, Sean was, I think, taking a shot at the Atlanta Falcons on social media. He was having some fun. I don't know exactly what his message meant, but he, I think, was dropping some shade at the Falcons on social media. So, and speaking of former division opponents, the Falcons with Sean for 15 years. He hated him.
Yep.
And
he
now,
still hates him.
Yes, yeah, he still hates him. Exactly. Okay, we've got the inside scoop. I've loved these first two segments, but my favorite segment is always the inside scoop, getting to learn ball from Benny. That is coming up next. Broncos country, this one is for you. Our friends over at Ent Credit Union are going to give you $200 when you sign up. $200 will be dropped right into your account after meeting just a few easy requirements. And a really cool thing about Ent that separates them from every other bank and credit union out there. The debit card, you can get a Broncos branded one, a Bo Nix one, or a PS2 throwback card that will be available right now, and they're all like collectibles. Ent Credit Union is for Broncos country. Of course, when you swipe, you get chances to earn tickets. When you use it, you get a discount at Empower Field at Mile High. So this one is for you, Broncos country, and they want to give you that $200 by meeting those simple requirements. So with the playoff push heading up, the perks, the card, $200. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, go to ent.com/DNVR. Account membership required. Account associated Broncos debit card requires a $100 deposit and activation of debit card within 30 days of account opening. And this weekend, the Broncos are going to be celebrating, potentially checking off Sean Payton's number 2 goal this year. I'm sorry, Sean. And they're going to be doing it, or you can be doing it, with Coors Lights, because I guarantee Coors are going to be flowing around this state on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, all day Saturday, all day Sunday for the Broncos. And you know what? Maybe the Broncos will indulge in a couple of Coors Lights the following weekend because they won't be playing if they take care of business this week. Coors Light is all about chilling. Whether you're chilling and enjoying a Broncos AFC West division title, whether you're chilling enjoying the Broncos wrapping up the number 1 seed, whether you're chilling celebrating the new year with friends, Coors Light is made just for you because it is made for chilling. And you can make the most out of the times you choose to chill by going to CoorsLight.com, and you can get it delivered straight to your door by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer. And, of course, shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365. And if I can ask everyone to hit us with a thumbs up if you're tuning in, we really, really appreciate it. Sometimes these holiday weeks can be, people are doing their own things, so they're not watching live or they're not able to catch every single show. So if you hit us with a thumbs up, that helps us extra to give us that love this week. And you'll definitely want to give us that love right now because it is my favorite segment of the week, the Inside Scoop, where Bennie Fowler is going to teach us, and the Inside Scoop is, of course, powered by Ent Credit Union. Bank like a Bronco. Go to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR and sign up for Broncos checking today. Ent Credit Union is insured by NCUA. Membership required. APY account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. Without further ado, Benny, take it over.
Yeah, I pulled out a couple plays, Zach, from the Kansas City game, things that I think will be huge when it comes to the Broncos winning this upcoming weekend and then also their playoff run. This first play isn't necessarily a positive play, but it just shows the ability where I think Bo can take off, but then also just how close the Broncos are in terms of the third downs. I think I have one first down play in here, and the rest are third downs from this game right here. You see Troy Franklin right here coming in motion, and they are going to run a double dig concept. And you have, they're playing 2-man right here, the Chiefs are, and Cortland is beating his man right here. Troy Franklin is actually getting ready to come on the in route, and so is Cortland. Right here, you got your double dig concept, and then you got Marvin Mims streaking down here, keeping these guys occupied. This is a staple in any offense right here running. We used to call this play, we used to call it Dallas and Payton's offense. I don't know what we called it in other offenses, probably just double dig. But right here, Courtland is beating his guy on the inside, and he's wide open right here. This is one of the things right here. They just barely missed this throw, and I hate to put on a negative play to start this, but this is a play that Courtland will come down with 9 out of 10 times, and he will make this play. But in the playoffs, I think one of the keys to the Broncos having a successful run is Bo being able to extend plays with his legs. There is a lot of open space right here, and we saw him take advantage of the Chiefs' defense later on in the game with his legs. But right here, he ends up threading this needle to Courtland. Courtland isn't able to make this play right here, but I thought Bo had some really accurate throws. He also threw the double post to Courtland. Courtland, like I said, will come down with that play 9 out of 10 times. He's a Pro Bowler, and he's been the Broncos' most consistent receiver all year. But I think there's going to be a lot of room throughout the playoffs for Bo to extend plays with his legs. So that's the reason why I put this play on here. But the Broncos are just a little bit off right there. And when you look back and you watch the film and you watch the games, and you're like, oh, man, they only won 20-13. You miss on plays like this. This is a 3rd and 6, I believe. When you miss on plays like this, you end up losing the field position battle and having to punt the ball. But there were plenty of plays out there to be made.
Well, Benny, I love that you brought this play up, because I think this play kind of shifted the rest of the game, because I think this was the first one that he didn't run when he could have. I think there was one more that he could have run as well. And then Sean said, yeah, I did say, don't be afraid to use your legs. In the middle of the game, after both of these opportunities are passed up, and then what did he do? He took off with his legs later, including a touchdown and some other really good plays. And you never want to see guys drop the ball, but I'm happy that it was Courtland that had a couple of drops in this game and not anyone else, because I am 0% concerned about Courtland dropping the ball next week in the playoffs. If it were other guys, it'd be like, man, this late in the season, is that going to impact their psyche? Especially Courtland dropped probably 2 touchdowns. It would have only been 1 because they were back-to-back plays, essentially. But I am 0 concerned about Courtland making plays in the future here. So if anyone had to drop a pass, couple passes in this game, I'm happy it was him.
Yeah, not concerned at all. I think Courtland's been making plays throughout the entire year, so we'll move on from that one. Here is another play right here where actually Courtland, this is another 3rd down play, and things like this I think are very important. Here is also another dig concept in Payton's offense. This is called a dig right here. So you got an under right here, and then you got a basic right here. This is a staple play that you saw Demarius catch 100 passes on, Emmanuel catch 100 passes on. But Courtland's got this short in route, a shin route right here. And you just love to see, I love on these 3rd and short conversion plays, Courtland coming up with big plays, but then also Bo, the timing and rhythm to throw this ball before it gets to this defender and beat this defender. So these are the little things like here is converting on 3rd downs that you need to have. You see Bo, the ball's already in the air. Courtland's beat the first defender, and it gets to Courtland before this second defender right here for a 1st down. 3rd downs are obviously imperative in every single game, but in the playoffs, it is heightened even more. Yeah. Being able to sustain drives is very important.
Yep, 100%.
Guys, think about what play we have here. Oh, I think this is a Bo scramble right here. So you got guys right here running their routes, but I think, like I said, Bo's going to have to use his legs throughout the playoffs. And the quarterbacks that have won championships in recent memory have been able to extend plays and keep drives alive with their legs. And this is something that you want to see. The offensive line did an incredible job of just protecting, and they've done an incredible job of protecting all year. But Bo's a strong runner, man. Yeah. He is a strong runner. He's somebody who can extend the play. And this is what you love to see. You love to see him extending these plays because he's fast. I think him and Caleb Williams got the top. I think that's what Hank told me. Him and Caleb Williams have the top speeds of quarterbacks throughout the entire year. So that I think this is a key metric right here, and he has the 1st down right here. So these little things right here is what you want to see. This play right here is the quarterback run. This is the only 1st down play I put on here. But I don't know if this was a design quarterback run. Obviously, the receivers are running their routes here. But, right here, you're like, how is Bo going to score?
Yeah.
All these defenders right here. How is he going to score?
That is
But this is
insane.
what type of athlete he is. How is he going to score right there?
Yeah.
And he ends up getting into the end zone. So when you have that type of dynamic playmaker at quarterback, which I think Bo is, top 5 right now in the league in terms of most dynamic quarterbacks throwing and running, this can win you a championship.
Yep. You're so right, man. And it helped on this play, I believe, as well.
Yeah, 100%. This is the game-winning touchdown right here. You have a naked boot action, naked right, and Bo obviously just being such a run threat has all of these defenders' eyes looking at him. And because he is such a run threat, he's able to extend plays, and now it becomes a scramble drill. Also, I thought this was an incredible job by R.J. Harvey. Running backs are not always the best in terms of keeping plays alive or catching the ball or just having that space awareness and feel of where to go when a quarterback is scrambling. And RJ,
spoken by a wide receiver right there.
And RJ did a great job, man, of just keeping this play alive and then also having the awareness on the back end line. But Bo's able to make this throw. You saw Bo point, actually. You see him pointing right here of telling RJ to come back here, come back this way, so he can back shoulder him right there. And he's able to make that play and score a touchdown. These are the little things. Not even little things. These are the things that I think can propel the Broncos to a Super Bowl run. Is Bo using his legs, extending plays, R.J. Harvey, which I think has been now stamped as the Joker in terms of the way he's being used, Christian McCaffrey like, Alvin Kamara like in terms of running between the tackles and also in the pass game. These are the things that I think can help this team and this offense in particular.
You're
win a
100
Super Bowl.
You're 100% right there, Benny. And after the game, Sean and Bo both pointed to that play and just praised R.J. Harvey so much for his instincts. Bo said it's RJ's quarterback background, that he knows what a quarterback likes and knows how to get open there. Sean couldn't have spoken highly enough. I think he's 100% the Joker that Sean loves, almost needs in order to take his offense to that next level. And just a couple of stats about RJ, because you mentioned Alvin Kamara and it reminded me of him. RJ Harvey is the third rookie since 1950 to have 7 rushing touchdowns and 5 receiving touchdowns in a season. He joins Gale Sayers and Alvin Kamara. Pretty impressive there. He's
a rookie. That's crazy.
And he's a rookie. And speaking of rookies, RJ is the first Broncos rookie in franchise history to have a rushing or receiving touchdown in 5 straight games. So, I know that there's some talk from other people that Jaleel might, get more snaps in the playoffs.
I would like to see that. I'm one of those people.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
You don't know that. We're just talking about it's not taking
it's carries.
Yeah. It's not taking you're not taking RJ out of the his still Joker role. But I think the way that Jaleel hits the hole and finds the running lanes in the run game is something that you have to, hey, if he gets a hot hand in the playoff game, you gotta ride that hot hand. But also, no, that doesn't mean you're taking RJ out of any of the passing situations. He's obviously still going to be and get a brunt of the touches.
Yeah. And I'm not saying anything you said there was wrong, by the way.
You are. I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing.
The Broncos love this kid so much that they're not going to take more than a handful of touches.
Are you going to get an RJ Harvey jersey? Do you own any Broncos jerseys?
No. Had a Vaughn one, but in my parents' house. So, just kept it down there. We had kind of like a basement that was just like a holy grail with, one wall was painted. We had an orange couch. Then the wall behind it was blue. Then we had a big Broncos fat head. And then, a couple jerseys up there.
No jerseys?
I've never been a jersey guy.
Yeah. Neither have I.
I do own a Pat Surtain Alabama jersey.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's what I say about an RJ Harvey jersey. I don't think I know he doesn't love the number 12. So will he switch numbers after this season? And if he does,
his college number was 7, so he's not wearing that.
He cannot wear that. I wonder if because of the good year he's having, if he'll be like, you know what, I'll stick with 12. He's got 12 touchdowns right now. Maybe he goes to 13 next year. Takes Pat Bryant's number to try to get 13.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Can't go 14. Yeah, I mean, he might be stuck at 12. Hey, if you play good, it looks good.
He needs a single digit.
Alvin Kamara, 41 is a terrible number, but he's made it look good. Like, if you play good, you'll make it look good.
I don't know. Kamara made that number look really good.
He did. But you can't tell me 41's a good football number.
Well, I don't think the NFL would let him change now because of how many jerseys have been sold.
You would have to buy them back.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No chance.
No chance at all. Man, incredible breakdown, Benny. I think you're just spot on with Bo. And I think that's another aspect that Sean's going to continue to unlock in the playoffs, because you don't want your quarterback running 5 to 10 times every single game from week 1 to week 17, unless, especially if he's not built like Josh Allen. And there's one guy that's built like Josh Allen in the NFL. It's Josh Allen.
Right.
You don't want that from your franchise quarterback. Could you have that in a couple of games in the playoffs, though?
You'll need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you're right.
I think that's a need. Yeah, I think you brought up something that I think is unique and also really interesting, that if Sean did say that, is that, hey, use your legs. Like, hey, don't be afraid to use your legs there. Sean getting out of his own way as a coach and a play caller to say, hey, do whatever it takes to win these games, I think just unlocks another level of Bo. And RK has talked about this on this show. If Bo could just play a tier better each and every month, which I think he has been ever since the bye, the sky's the limit for this team.
100%. 100%. Benny, there's one more task that the Broncos have to do this regular season, and it's coming up on Sunday. There's a couple of things floating out there. I want to get your perspective on this game. That's coming up next. Strawberry Fields has you hooked up for what you need. They've got plenty of locations across the state: Denver, Pueblo, Trinidad, Downeyville. So there's probably a Strawberry Fields right along your route, whether you're going to be enjoying the new year here in Denver or up to the mountains. They've got one for you. They've got an online menu and payment options to skip the line and get in and out faster, or get straight back to your couch even faster. And they've got a huge range of products: premium flour, vaporizers, edibles, infused drinks, tinctures, concentrates, topicals, you name it, they've got it. And their bud tenders actually know their stuff, and they're great at helping you find exactly what you're looking for. And you're going to get 25% off your entire purchase from now until the new year by using the code DNVR when you shop there. Must be 21 and older with a physical valid ID at purchase. More info at strawberryfieldscannabis.com. And make sure you're using that code DNVR for 25% off. And if you go to Strawberry Fields, you're going to want to stop by Taco Bell on the way home, because Taco Bell has the delicious food that you need. And I think our campaign to get Jokic to try the quesarito has worked, because I saw him wearing that Taco Bell shirt last week. So let's keep the push going until we actually know that he has had the quesarito. And if you want to get the quesarito, it is back for a limited time. And of course, this is what was on the screen when Jokic was picked, when he was drafted. And not only is it a fun story for the Nuggets, it is a delicious burrito that's wrapped in a quesadilla. Come on, you can't get any more tasty than that. And of course, they've got so many other fantastic items over at Taco Bell. And the Buffs box have sold out, but your local Colorado Taco Bell restaurants would love to hear from the fans which student athletes you would like to see featured on the 2026 football season collectible cups. Put your comments below and let us know, and get that quesarito. Live Moss at Taco Bell. And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365. Before we get into the important stuff, Benny, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I'm a cookie dough guy, man. So if I went to Cold Stone, if I got an order at Cold Stone, I would get chocolate ice cream with cookie dough, Reese's Pieces, and peanut butter.
Oh, so you're like a cookie guy.
Yeah.
In your ice cream.
I'm a chocolate chip cookie connoisseur. I like warm baked chocolate chip cookies, but I'm not ice cream every day. You're ice cream every day.
Mostly, yeah. Yeah. In fact, yesterday, my wife got me a little treat to put on my ice cream for Christmas in my stocking. Nerds.
Nice.
Put nerds in the ice cream.
What's your go-to ice cream?
Go-to ice cream, if I'm at a place, because they typically don't have this in stores, it would be either bubblegum or cotton candy.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're going to have bubblegum ice cream later today?
I'd have to go to like, Bonnie Bray or like an actual place that they sell them, not because like grocery stores don't have that.
Okay.
No, it's very sad. It's very sad. So typically
if you're
I
at
just go
home,
with
then
vanilla.
what?
Vanilla.
Okay.
And then maybe some add-ins, some nerds.
Some nerds?
Yeah, some broken up cookies potentially.
Okay. Chocolate chip?
Yeah, I like chocolate chip cookies. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Snickerdoodle is the best though.
No way.
No?
No, chocolate chip, bro.
They've got to be soft Snickerdoodles. But
Yeah,
then,
you said...
Yeah. You get that little cinnamon in there.
What is wrong with you guys?
Do you like hard or soft cookies?
Soft cookies only.
Okay, I agree with you on that. For sure. And see, I knew I was going to bring my personality out and be called a 6-year-old boy like I am. And you know what? I'll own that. I'll own it.
We're never... Hey, we only grow up, or like when we never really grow up. We only learn how to act in public. So this is...
I like that.
That's for anybody out there.
I don't think I've ever heard that, but that's so... I love that. I love that.
You are who you are. Whoever you are at home, that's you.
Yeah.
Whoever you are when you were that young kid, that is you.
Yep.
You just learn how to act in public.
Yep, it's so true.
Put on Peter Millar.
Yep. I keep
quarter zips.
I keep my cat voices at home for the cats, so good. Okay, Benny, we've got the number 1 seed on the line on Sunday. How do you feel about this game? Sean Payton earlier today called it pretty much a playoff game. He said that this game is extremely important to get the number 1 seed. How are you feeling about playing a Chargers team who there's a lot of suggestions out there that they might sit their starters? There's nothing so far that's indicated that they actually are sitting their starters. Jim Harbaugh has not come out and said that they're resting their starters. On one hand, it would make sense though. Justin Herbert's hand looks like it is a fake hand on there because he can barely move it, and just that white tape and white glove. And it's like maybe he does need some rest. But because the Bills lost yesterday, the Chargers, I think, can still be anywhere from the 5th seed, which would play the Steelers as of right now, or the Ravens if they win, or they could drop down to the 7th seed and you're going on the road and you're having to play New England. So there is still a lot out there for them to play. And then the elephant in the room that we'll acknowledge, because Bo brought it up after the game, he is 0-3 against the Chargers. He has not beaten the Chargers since he's been here. There's so much at stake. Potentially you're playing backups, but also maybe you aren't. How do you feel right now about it?
I just don't see that. I don't see how or why. I just don't see Jim Harbaugh resting his starters. I don't see that. Like you said, Bo and Sean are both 0-3 against these guys. I think John would like to make him 0-4 and also ruin the fact that they can't get the number 1 seed if they could. So I believe that's why Sean said that this is a playoff game. I think this kicks off the playoffs for the Broncos, and, not a win or go home situation, but a win and you get the number 1 seed and you get a little bit of rest, I think is something that Sean is very much looking forward to. I think Sean and Bo and the rest of the team are going to, especially the offense, are going to come out firing on all cylinders, because after the bye week, they did that. After their mini bye on the Thursday night, they did better on offense. I could see the same thing happening. So I think Sean is getting ready to get into his bag even more in terms of play calling and personnels and his got-to-have situations. You saw what they did against the Chiefs on that 4th down. New play, RJ Harvey, wildcat situation, and gets Chris Jones to jump. I think you're going to see more of those types of things with Sean in this game and then going forward. Yeah, I just don't see these guys. I don't see the Chargers, though. Going back to the Chargers, I don't see them resting their starters. But if they do, more power to the Broncos to go out there and handle business. This is a bend, don't break type defense. You got Derwin James. You got some really incredible corners. They're playing a lot of zone. They don't blitz a lot. I don't know. I don't know what to think or what to say. I know Sean will have these guys ready. And it's good that these guys got 3 or 4 days off. Yeah,
100%. And the Broncos, so the Chargers actually do have an extra day because they played on Saturday, but the Broncos have 2 extra days on the Chargers to prepare for this game. And I just think, I love that Sean isn't celebrating the AFC West division title. And I would have had no problem with him celebrating it with the team today in whatever fashion.
You wouldn't have?
I wouldn't have had any problem. I was expecting it.
What did you think? How did you think they were going to celebrate?
I thought it was certainly going to be acknowledged. I thought there were going to be hats and T-shirts given to them as they walked into the facility, and
that's not how it works in the league.
well, no. So I thought it was going to be like what happened with the Patriots. So they were on the team buses when the Bills game ended and the Bills lost, so they won. When they get off the buses, there were hats and T-shirts like right outside, and they were handing them to players. Then the coach got them all together in looked like a garage before they probably all actually drove off, and congratulate them. Gave a very short speech. It was like he said the exact same thing that Sean says. We got 3 goals. One is to win the division. The second is to get the best seed possible, and the third is to win a world championship. It was like verbatim out of Sean's book. And then they took a team photo, and then that was it. And I mean, their shirt said like "Been there, won that," so it was kind of the same message of like, okay, yeah, this was nice, but now on to the next goal. But I thought it was gonna be something like that, a team photo with it, or
the guys don't come into the facility at the same time.
Yeah, no,
they're
it's
not
fair.
gonna hand those things out.
And again, why
it's a Monday?
I love your perspective, because
yeah, it's a Monday. They're not gonna do that.
And and I love that. I actually love that Sean is taking that approach. It's just like, yeah, I don't even know if we said that because we have another massive goal, and the 1 seed is more important than the division, and you can't have the 1 seed without having the division, so they do go hand in hand. But Sean's absolutely right. He said, why the 1 seed's so important. When I asked him, he said, it's because you avoid that first playoff game. You essentially get to avoid any potential risks happening, any upsets, he didn't say injuries, but you also avoid any injuries happening in a 60-minute football game that week, and then you get to play at home. And he said playing at home is great, and the fans are great. But I loved what he said after. He said, man, the fans haven't had this in a long time, and the fans deserve this, and our team deserves this. So and you control it. Whatever, if you win, doesn't matter what the Patriots or the Jags or anyone else does. You will be the number 1 seed.
How do you feel if Jim says, hey, we're resting these guys? How do you feel about that? Do you, as a fan?
That's an easy win, Benny. That is an easy win. Do you still not agree with me? I thought this is one that you would actually agree with me with.
Easy?
If he rests his starters.
Easy?
Easy, yes.
No.
I think we're seeing 38-0 just like we did against Kansas City Chiefs last year in Week 18 when they sat there, guys.
Yeah, they had the number 1 seed.
Yeah, exactly.
They were 15-2. The Chargers, I just don't think. First of all, they're a Harbaugh coach team, so I know they're going to play extremely hard.
Yeah, I agree.
Defense is still the same. Players obviously would be out. Guys like Derwin James and Khalil Mack, but Trey Lance is a former first-round pick. Third overall pick. I'm not saying he's going to come in here and light the Broncos defense light them up, but
yeah,
hey, we just saw the third-string Kansas City quarterback.
Well,
20-13. But
touche. I see what you're saying.
No games are easy in the league. I think we've had this discussion all year.
I'll tell you what.
You told me
with all these one-score games, they're not helping me, man.
Remember you told me how easy the Titans game was going to be.
Yeah,
the
no,
Colts
I did.
game was going to be easy.
No, you're right. Next year, the Broncos are going to take that next step and show us the games are easy in the NFL. Or you know what, Sean? If you're listening right now, can you just do it this week? Especially if the Chargers don't play their start. Okay, what I will say, if the Chargers play their starters.
Should we bet? So if the Chargers don't play their starters, you think it's going to be 38-0?
I would say... I was so confident in a 20-point win before you mentioned that the Chiefs played their third-string guy last week and won by 7 points. What would I set the line at if it's not Justin Herbert? I would probably go 14.5.
Broncos win 21-10.
Yeah, that wouldn't cover it. That would not be an easy win. That'd be a solid win.
Yeah, it's going to be a solid
win.
But
that's what you would say, 21-10.
Yeah, 21-10.
Yeah, I would say 30-10 at least.
You're so disrespectful.
However, though, if Justin Herbert plays, this is an incredibly difficult game.
If Herbert plays, yeah, it's going to be definitely a closer game. I would say Broncos 21, Chargers 17.
So you do still think they win and they get that bye?
Yeah.
I think so too. That's how I'm feeling. But we've got another day to continue to break it down because the holiday week, we're going to give our picks tomorrow on the show. Wow, we have some people saying, I think they're dropping lines here of, they'd say it's a 4.5 point line for the Broncos, 7.5 point line. We said that if Justin Herbert wasn't playing, there's no way Broncos country feels that way. That'd be that close of a game right there. But man, we got a super chat before we get out of here. It comes from Pure Lapine, who says, I love being frauds. Let's be big old fraudulent Super Bowl champs. Pigsby, BFL, DTFL, FUKC, Fern, and FULAC. Incredible. And you know what? They can keep not believing. Doesn't matter if you win, you're doing it. Doesn't matter if people care or not. Give
it doesn't
credit,
at all.
I guess.
Yeah.
And Sean's not letting that impact them one bit right now. I'm so pumped for the final game of the season, and I hope that we're talking about no Broncos game in 2 weeks, because that means they've got the first round bye. And that would be something else. That's going to do it for us today. Shout out to Benny for the awesome breakdown, for the awesome conversation. Shout out to Dion for being on. And for everyone here, enjoy this day, this week. It's going to be so awesome. Welcoming the new year in with a 13-3 Denver Broncos team. We'll see you tomorrow at noon to continue to break it down.
We all silly like the mayor.